This will be talking to Glenn Whittle, Gaz, about this fantastic new training aid, Train Your Plane.
Thanks to Inside Golf, this is Backspin.
Well, as we spoke about, Gary, in the intro, we've got Glenn Whittle on the line. Glenn has just come up with, he's created a brand new golf teaching aid. It's called Train Your Plane. You've had a crack. You like it.
Mate, it's amazing.
It is an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an inflatable plane board. Glenn is on the line. G'day, Whit. How are you, mate?
Laz and Gaz. Is there anyone else calling you that? Laz and Gaz?
It's a bit of a wank, so no, we usually try and edit that out when someone says that.
Right. Well, you will. Hello. Good to be with you, Larry and Gary.
He's Gaz, I'm Larry. Get it right, Whit.
Sorry. Okay, close. Hi, good to be with you, Larry and Gaz.
that's going to stay in. None of that's going to be edited. Thanks for the chat, Whit. It was good to catch up. The Train Your Plane device. It's when I saw it, it seemed like something. Now, why hasn't someone done that earlier? It's such a simple concept. The plane board, as Gary knows, because I think Gary's been using the plane board for longer than there were planes in the sky. I think the Wright brothers invented it.
Before there were plane boards.
Yeah, exactly. But not one you could belt without breaking the shaft and sticking the shaft through your own forehead, which I've come close to a few times. Look, tell us how it started, please, Whit. How it began.
I was looking for ways to help my clients practice between lessons, and I gave them, like all coaches have over the years, all sorts of funky ideas of do this with a chair or put a pool noodle against this or whatever it was. And then I started playing around. I'm always sketching or doodling on a pad. So I was just drawing some ideas, and you should see, in fact, I sent you guys some photos this morning. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at them, but it took 2 years to sort of get it to a point that I thought was right. I would spend a lot of time sort of making it out of plasticine because the manufacturers had no concept of what I was talking about.
You must have gone through a lot of plasticine.
That's
a shitload of plasticine.
They weren't life-size. I don't know if you know about scale, Gaz.
Oh, you can go scale.
Okay.
You can scale it.
Miniature version, okay.
They were double the size of the one. No, actually, they were only tiny, like a match. Initially, I did that, but people kept laughing at me when I'd try and carry this life-size plasticine through the house.
Yeah.
So I end up, and people are going, "You're an idiot. Why don't you do little ones and then tell them?" And I said, "Oh, that's a better idea." So I'd make these little things, and I'd say, "Well, it is possible," which I suppose that's how engineers over the years have done. You know, like, can I do this with a building? Can I do that? Can it do this? So I sort of came up with this thing, and I'm like, no. So I'd send it, and I'd get prototypes made, and that's not cheap, it costs you a couple of grand. And I'd go, no. And everyone would laugh at me because I'd then go out and I'd inflate them, and I'd have sticky tape coming out of here and sticks through here, and I'd say, no, not happy with that. Then 3-4 months later, I'd get another prototype, not happy with that, no good. This is good though, this little bit's good, but it's got to be adjusted. And anyway, so it went on, and it took a couple of years, and I got it to a point where I thought, you know what, I think it's got something. And I know it's not out there because I'd gone through my patent attorneys, both here and overseas, to go and do their searches. So we were away, and then I just thought, well, now you got to spend a year, which it basically took to get the product ready, as in the packaging and the logo and the website and the app. It comes with a free app with about 25, 30 videos on how to, because it's about 10 different setups for 3 different pieces. You can not only do the plane, but they use Velcro, and the 3 pieces can be used to set up all different practice exercises at home, basically.
And is that when they decided to let you out of the facility at that point?
Well, if you know me, I am crazy.
Well, because I've been told I'm crazy because I do stuff like that. And
well, you got to be crazy.
Yeah, and But you did that on the day leave or when you were in there?
I did it in between. I did the sketching I did when I was in there full time. I did some of the prototypes in the insanity ward.
Yeah.
Would have been hard with your arms tied behind your back too, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd be amazing what you can do with your mouth and plastic. I would when I started dragging these life-size plasticine swing plane things through the ward, they thought, that's it. We've got to put him away for 20 years. And I said, do I get any PDP points for this?
You get PGA points, but
No. They said, no, you're in, no visitors. So by the time they let me out, I'd had a pretty good thing. In fact, the wardens liked it.
Well, I tell you what, that's what I was worried about, because I really liked it.
Well, one of the wardens was off 28, now off 7. So things are moving along. I'm out full time, and this thing's on the market.
Going well.
Hoping to sell 5 worldwide.
I tell you, I've got to say, on a serious note, as you said, we as golf pros, plane boards have been around for a long time. I remember Stephen Bann was the first one that I'd seen use one. I remember he told me the dimensions to go and make it at home. It was 5 foot by 2 foot, because obviously the plane, as you know, we all have different planes, and we can swing through on congruent planes. So we can, obviously, that shaft plane at the takeaway and the delivery, and then as we move back, you do get the odd player that'll stay on that plane, but most players will sort of move up on sort of parallel planes, then come back down. So that size that you've got is I think perfect for educating a player to swing the club on plane. As you know, as a golf instructor, a golf pro, the plane and the face, they're sort of like the king and the queen of golf. So it's obviously you're trained the plane, which is the one that I think's special in the fact that because it's not physically hard, you can sort of go at a swing with decent speed without sort of breaking a club or breaking something. And that's what I've found. If there is a negative with the normal physical plane board made out of wood or some solid construction, is that you can become a little careful in the rehearsals, and then the feedback that you're getting as a golfer, that proprioception, it's not really that valuable. You can sort of stand in front of a mirror all day and try to swing up and down a plane board, but you really need to make your motion with some force, and then having having what you've got, you can sort of tear into it and not do much damage, which is I think is the brilliance of it.
Thanks. Well, I say to people all the time in lessons when I grab it, set it up for people, I always say, when they hit it, I say, that's great. And they say, what do you mean? And I say, well, if it wasn't there, you wouldn't know. You'd have no feedback. And with me, having made plane boards over the years, for most people, I know that they end up, like they've got a couple of little stays at the back, and they shove it up by the side of the shed, and they don't use it. And as Gary said, and I couldn't agree more, they don't really swing dynamically. It's a bit sort of scared and fake.
It is.
It's terrifying.
And you can tilt the board slightly left, slightly right to show different delivery paths. You can. I posted your train the plane on my Instagram, and quite a few of the comments was, can I adjust this? Because obviously, God, I made a rubber plane board from Clark Rubber many years ago, but of course it was cut in one piece of a block, and it wasn't adjustable. So one of the questions I got asked in regard to the Instagram was that can we adjust this? Which you can, because obviously everyone has different anatomy, everyone has different swing planes, different setup positions. So I found it pretty easy to adjust. And as far as the precision of it, people go, oh, well, I set my shaft up at 58 degrees. Can I get the plane board exactly at 58 degrees? I found it quite simple to get within a few degrees. You don't have to be amazingly precise, but you need to feel. And the other thing that I liked about it too is that with obviously the material that it's made from, you can slip the club quite easily back and down, and you can get the right acoustics with the club slipping back and slipping through. So,
but you don't get from plasticine. I mean, you don't.
You definitely don't get that.
Right.
You definitely don't get that from plasticine.
Well, my club kept sticking to the big plasticine one.
Yeah.
Stuck at impact. ball, I was losing a lot of distance. The ball was going about a foot. So what happened, Gary, is I kept getting different materials sent over, and as you can imagine with any process like this, you're trying to talk to people that don't know golf, and I'm saying it has to do this, and I had all these things in the back of my mind. It had to be affordable, had to be inflatable, had to be adjustable. My brother-in-law had the idea, which I thought was brilliant, he said, so it comes in a little box, that's cool. And I said, yeah. He said, so what do they do when they finish with it? Like, they roll it up, that looks good? And I said, yeah. He said, why don't they get a little bag? I said, what do you mean a little bag? He said, well, if you're sending it to me, and he's a golfer, he said, I'd want to roll it up, throw it in the bag and hang it in the shed. And I thought, that's a brilliant idea.
Well, that costs you another $10 to make a bag.
Well, a bag. You've got to give them a bag. So I tested it on a lot of people, a lot of clients, and only people that I trusted would tell me the truth. I didn't want people to tell me it was great. I knew the good parts of it. I wanted to know the bad parts of it. Was it hard to get out? Was it hard to inflate? Did it stay? So another thing they did for me with the manufacturing is I made them, part of my insanity again, I made them keep it up in their warehouse, every piece, because it comes in 3 pieces, the base, the wall and the tube, for 48 hours before they packed them. So I've got videos and photos, I should post them on Instagram actually, of the pieces up, blown up, inflated for 48 hours before they'd packed them, because I wanted evidence for my customers that they wouldn't deflate. They didn't have holes on them, etc.
So are you saying you should practice for 48 hours in a session?
Pretty much. And then if it's deflated, you should be having rest anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, look. Obviously, I've been using it. I've been using it a lot at the Aussie the last couple of weeks, and I've been taking it out on the grass. I've been using it in the indoor facility. We've been dragging it around. We've had members just go and grab it and hit it. And it's been hit quite a few times. Like it's very durable, which I found probably exciting.
Important, very important
because practicing golf at full speed, hitting balls, you're going to get some people that are going to sort of rip into it. So it seems to be quite durable. I haven't sort of found any flaws with it at the moment, and obviously I've been using it in real life situations and coaching too, not just in a private situation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Speaking of durable, I've just recalled a story. My brother-in-law Mark has a driving range up at Gosford. He's another golf pro, so he's mad as well. And he had, when you said some people go at it really hard, he has one of the ones that you actually lock the club in. And he tried to tell the guy, look, go slow. I mean, because it's going to point you in different directions. And he went nuts. This bloke went bananas and tried to hit it. And the thing actually ripped out of the ground and it rolled down. It was like a it was like a wagon wheel flying down. He's left there holding the club and the thing's sailing down the fairway.
I tell you, what I did, just back to this, I meant to mention it before. What I did is I paid about $1,000. It was like $400 to have it covered. I made for the listeners, I made a rectangle, sort of like Gary was talking about before, and then I made another huge piece that went on the other side that matched the angle, so that there was think of it like an incline or an angled tunnel to swing between. And what I did is I had it covered, so it was foam, not inflatable, foam. It's massive. I love it. I use it all the time. Anyway, so what happened?
And for golf as well.
Yeah, that's right. An agency in China rang me, and he said, I love what you've got. I saw it on social media. He said, I love it. And I said, do you want one? And he said, no. And I said, you said you love it. He said, yeah, I've got a golf agency. I've got hundreds of thousands of customers. And I said, well, do you want some? And he said, no. And that was also a key indicator for me, that I'm onto something good, but it's no good. It's because he said to me, I'd have to buy 3 factories to put them in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. So I'm onto something good, but no one wants them. Right, that makes sense. So how am I going to get it into something that's marketable and that golfers can improve with, especially for my clients? That's why I did it. And hopefully, because it's got protection around the world, hopefully we sell a lot all over the place.
Oh, it's got to go nuts.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
take one over when I go to the next live event. I'm going to take one over. Matt wants one. He saw me using it, and he said, "Oh, I've got to get one of those." So I thought to myself, that is interesting. You know, there's a guy plays the PGA Tour, but he doesn't anymore. He plays the Live Tour, but he's won. Obviously, he's been one of our better Australian players the last 15 years. So it definitely appeals to that end of player as well as someone that's just starting. So
It'd be great if plane crashes into the ocean too. Gee, guys, you'll be the first one. They'll be jumping. They'll be clamouring to get on that.
No, Glenn's got a limited edition yellow version.
Yeah,
with a flare.
I tell my clients what you got to do. What you got to do is tell your wife, throw the box in the bin.
Yep.
Tell her it's a yoga mat.
Yep.
And then she can sit on it, and she can do a yoga and do all that. And then when she zips off to the shop, you just stick it together and practice your swing.
Nice. Yeah, you've got it all covered.
Actually, there's a lot of industries you can.
You're an
move into.
ideas man. So
All right, guys. So
Glenn, where do we get
25% off, Larry.
Glenn? Where do we get the train you're playing, and how much? And yeah.
So you go to trainyourplane.com.au.
Yep.
And you buy it online. It ships the next day. It's free shipping Australia-wide, and 95% of players, like if you're in absolute the top end, in the bush, living in a cave up in Arnhem Land, we probably couldn't get it to you. But the rest of people, 95% of Australia, it's free shipping. It's $165.
Oh,
Now
that's not dear,
that's
is it?
25% off for the Father's Day. So until the 15th of next month, it's 25% off for Father's Day. So they're normally $220, but if you jump online and grab yourself one before the 15th of next month, obviously there's no proof that you're a dad, but it's all good. We're happy for you to be out there and improving your golf.
Good on you, Glenn. Thanks, mate. Thanks for being part of the show.
Good to chat,
and
boys.
it's great to know that you're out, mate, at last. That's such a relief for a lot of people.
Well, for now, I'm back in. What day
You
is
go.
it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thursday, I'm back in.
Okay.
All right. Good on you, Whit. Thanks, mate.
See you, mate.
See you guys.
Okay, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Inside Golf, this is Backspin.